Today we are going to learn how to simplify square roots. But in order to talk about that, we're going to talk about what in the world a square root is for. So here we go. Why a square root? What does that do? I'm going to draw squares. Okay. And I am going to give you the area of that square. I'm going to say the area of this square is 81 units squared. And I'm trying to figure out what would the side length be? What is the side length? Like the length of one of the sides. Like this is considered to be the length of the side. This is a side. Okay, these are all sides of the square. Like, how could I figure out if I knew the area of the square? How could I get back to the side length? Does anybody know the answer to? How about this? Ready?
Oh, we're trying to find the side.
Yeah, I'm trying to like, what would be the length of this side? Like right there. Like if I could fill in the box right there. Anybody have an idea like what number would go there? Like what's the length of that?
Oh, 81.
Oh, it is. It's
because it's half of 81, right?
no, it's not area.
Oh, square root.
Whoa, here we go. Everybody listen up. We have a winner. We have a winner. I'm gonna have two winners here. You say the first. What was the number? And because it's the that's right. Can you guys please put the square root of 8? Yes.
Oh my God.
The square root of 81 is
today.
9. Now listen. Why? Because 9 times 9 equals 81. So 81 breaks down into what two factors? 2 9s. Okay? And we know that 9 squared, when I say 9 squared, that's a perfect square that equals 81. So what was the whole purpose of the square root? To help you to go what? From the area of a square back to the length of the side. What was our side length? It was a total of 9. Okay? So we're going to be learning how to simplify radicals. Now obviously there's certain ones that are very, very, very easy, like this one, right? The square root of 81 is 9. What would be the final answer be? 9. Okay? Let's do another one real quick, right? The square root of 25 is just what? 5. Okay? Well, what if I did this? What if I said, how could I simplify the square root of 50? There's no two numbers that are exactly equal, that are real numbers that multiply together to equal 50. But do we know some factors of 50? What number goes into 50? Ooh, a 10, right? A 5, right? What else? 2 and a 5. Oh, look at that. I'm going to put 25 and then we'll put 2. Like, Mr. Moon, I got 2 different factors. I'm going to do it a totally okay way. Okay. Some of you didn't say 25 and 2. What did you say? You said 10 and 5. Both these ways are acceptable. One of these has a perfect square hidden inside of it. One of these numbers is a perfect square. Which number of 25, a 2, a 10, and a 5? Which one is a perfect square? 25. Why? Because the 25 breaks down into perfectly 5 times 5. Square roots look for groups of what? Groups of 2. So if I break this down into a 5 and a 5, that's a group of 2. So what comes out of the radical? A 5. So what comes out of this radical? What is able to come out of that radical, that square root? What number? 5. What stays in the radical? A 2. So here's what your simplified answer would be. 5 radical 2. That's considered to be what's called the simplified answer. Okay, so write that down. That's the simplified answer. Like What about this? Can we get to the same answer doing it this way? Sure, watch. What does 10 break down to? A 2 and a 5. Is there still a pair of 5s? Yes. Okay? So what comes out of the radical? When I say out of the radical, like out of underneath this radical symbol, what comes out? 5. What stays inside of it? 2. So either way, you still get the same simplified answer. Okay, so guys, write that down. I'm going to pause it. And we're going to do another one. All right, we're going to do another problem here. And we're going to talk about what I'm doing. And it's called breaking things down into its factors. So if I have the number 98, I have the number 98. I'm creating what's called like a factor tree. I'm breaking things down into its factors. Now, what do we know about all numbers that are an even number, that end in even? What are they all divisible by?
2.
2. Not all by 4, but they're all by 2. So I'm going to put a 2 right there. Put a 2. Now, if I divide 2 into 98, what is the other factor that would go there? No, not 44. But you're on the right track. Just split that in. Which, by the way, if I said the square root of 100, right? Nope. If I say the square root of 100, that breaks down to a what? A 10 and a 10. What's half of 100? Would you agree half of 98 would be pretty close to 50? 49. Okay? Now, does anybody, now we know the square root of 100 is equal to 10. Ah. There's my pair, right? Square root of 100 is 10. You found it. Ah. There we go. Now, what does 49 break down to? Yeah, 7 and 7. Ooh, guess what? We have got a pair. Now, what is that not? By the way, even though you can't see it, what number is inside of the square root in this index? Even though you can't see it, it's the number 2. Why? Because it's looking for groups of 2. So what am I allowed to pull out of this radical? A 7. Whatever you circle a pair of, that's what you're allowed to pull out. So what stays inside of the radical? And that would be your simplified answer. Okay. All right, here's another way to think about this. Does everybody agree that 2, wrong box. Let me get to the rectangle. All right. Does everybody agree that 2 times 49 is 98? You all good on that? Okay, so check this out. I could also say, so that we're always thinking about this, the square root of 98 could also be equal to the square root of 49 times the square root of 2. These are equivalent. Is 49 times 2 98? Yes. But what is the square root of 49? The square root of 49 is just a 7. The square root of 2 you cannot simplify, so you just leave it as the square root of 2. So maybe that's another way of thinking about it, like you're looking for perfect squares. So the square root of 49 is 7. The square root of 2 stays the same. So I'll do another one this way. Okay? One second. So let's try this. Ready? The square root of 27. What numbers do you think multiply together to equal 27? You're right. Say it again. 9 times 3. Good. Now, watch this. I'm going to say this equals the square root of 9 times the square root of 3. So instead of continuing to break it down, all right, what I've done is I've taken my factors, and what's special about the square root of 9? That's a 9 is a perfect square, right? So 9, I'm going to put 9 is a perfect square. So what is the square root of 9? The square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 3, guess what? You can't simplify it. It just stays. So what do we do with this? We just bring it down. So what's my final answer? 3 radical 3. Now, here's the other way we did, right? We broke down the 9. We have a 3 times a 3. Is that a pair? Yes. So what comes out of the radical? A 3. What stays in the radical? A 3. So that's how you could do 3 radical 3. Okay? So we're going to do one problem right now. We're going to do one problem. This says, remove all perfect squares from inside the square root. So what did they give us? They gave us the square root of 20. All right, let's just do it. There you go. We're going to take the square root of 20. We're going to break it down. Okay, when you guys think of 20, what do you guys think of? 10 and 2. What else? 5 and 4. Watch this. I'm going to put a 4. And I'm going to put a 5. Okay? Which means this could equal the square root of 4 times the square root of 5. Does anybody know what the square root of 4 is equal to? Can I simplify the square root of 5? No. So my final answer would be 2 radical 5. Now what does 4 break down to? A 2 and a 2. There's my pair. So I can pull it out. So what number comes out? 2. What stays inside? 5. So listen, this way works if you can find, I'm going to highlight it, if you can find what? Perfect square. That's a perfect square. Look what happens if you guys, what was the other factors you said? You said the square root of 10 times the square root of, does this help you do this? No. Guess what? Watch this though. A 10 becomes the square root of 2 times the square root of 5 times another what? Square root of 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Times 2. Oh, what did you see? There's a square root of 2 and there's a what? Here. So here's what I need you guys to put into your journal. Check this out. Here's a rule. Watch this. The square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 4, and that becomes a 2. The square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 9, but that just becomes a 3. Interesting. The square root of 5 times the square root of 5 is the same thing as saying the square root of 25, which is 5. Like you skipped one, Mr. Luke. Why do you think I skipped the square root of 4? Because that's just a 2. I'm just doing ones that you can't, like, they're not perfect squares. So if I have the square root of 6 times the square root of 6, what do you think that's eventually going to become? You're looking for a pattern. I'm trying to establish a pattern here. What do you think? You're right. All right, here we go. Here is the final one. Let's see if you guys can find it. Here we go. Don't tell me the answer yet. Don't tell me the answer. What do you guys think the square root of smiley face times the square root of smiley face is eventually going to equal? No, the square root of round face times the square root of round face is a round face. Okay? So watch this. Here we go. Ready? The square root of a times the square root of a will eventually just equal, no, just a. All right. So what is my final answer for this right here? The final answer is 2 radical 5. Let me show you how to type it in, because you're going to be doing this coming up right now. All right? Here we go. Going to type in a 2. Does everybody see this radical symbol right here? Radical 5. Ooh. We're doing one more here. One more to help you guys out. Okay? Holy moly. It says the what? The square root of 108. Now, when I break down 108, there's lots of ways to break it down. Okay? I'm just going to go with something easy like 18 times Is that the only way to do it? No. Okay? People who are really good with numbers, I'll tell you what they break it down to. Now we're going to do it, people who don't know their multiplication facts very well, we're going to do it their way, and then we're going to do the people who know their multiplication facts really well, we'll do it this way. So we're going to save this for later, okay? So what does 18 break down to and 10 break down to? 18 is 9 and 2. Now you could have also said 6 and 3. 10 is 2 and 5. Ooh. That's what I found. Ah. Oh. Yeah, done. What does 9 break down to? 3 and 3. Ooh. So what happens? What is able to come out of this radical? A 3 is able to come out. And what else is able to come out? A 2. And what stays inside of the radical that did not have a buddy, have a pair? A 5. So my final answer is 6 radical 5. 6 radical 5 would be my simplified answer. Now this is a little bit longer way. How many numbers did we have to pull out? We have to pull out a 3 and a 2. This one, watch this. People who know their multiplication facts are like, 180 is 36 times 5. And I know 36, by the way, 36 is considered to be a perfect square. Why is 36 a perfect square? Because it breaks perfectly down into 6 and 6. Boom. Got my pair. What number comes out? 6. What number stays inside? 5. So either way, you still get the same answer. Which one takes a little bit longer? This method. Alright? But not everybody knows that 36 times 5 is 180. So if you don't know all of your multiplication facts, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to break it down and look for what? Pairs. That's right. Look for pairs.